Good morning, campers. Rise and shine.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mozette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mozette, and welcome 12s to episode 406 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to go camping. So sit back, relax, grab a desired beverage or scent of your choice, and remember to gather around the bonfire and sing Kumbaya. Yes, let's meet the Posse for this episode. I know they're anxious to pitch tents, so we'll start right away. First, from merry old England, my partner in crime, and of course, the yin to my yang. Always campy in his own right. It's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello, Matt. I knew you were going to start. If anyone knows about camp, it's probably me.
Oh, yes.
How are you? Are you well?
Oh, very well. How about yourself?
It's a little bit warm here, actually. It's a little bit warm here.
Yeah, it was like 185 today outside where I'm at. So
that's in Fahrenheit. So what's that? That's like
Fahrenheit.
What's
for
that
you guys,
new money?
So yeah, I was gonna say in Celsius that's like 3 or something, right?
Yeah, it's freezing cold. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, someone else didn't know what I'm talking about. It's our news hound. His 12th Man editorials can be found on the SeahawksSal.com website. He once camped in line at the theater for Star Wars tickets. You know him as Shadowhawk. We know him as Will. Hi, Will.
Oh, crap. Hang on. My marshmallow's on fire.
That's the best way to eat them.
Okay, it's salvageable.
Oh, see, I like s'mores. I didn't like the marshmallows and s'mores. I just eat the chocolate. I just sit there and eat the chocolate. This is fun. This is s'more. I never liked the marshmallows, but yeah, that's the best way to eat them is to get them on fire. Remember, you always have the guy or the gal that when you're cooking marshmallows, just throws it right in a fire and sits there and lets it burn for like a half hour.
Well, there's a certain balance. I mean, you want it toasty enough before it turns into pure carbon. So.
Exactly.
Can't fall with the stick though. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to get it so burnt it ends up looking like you crossed the streams. You want it to be just a little golden brown.
I love it.
That gentleman warning us, of course, of crossing the streams is also from the lovely state of Washington. His idea of roughing it is no vodka. It's Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, guys, and that is rough. That is rough. Believe me.
Isn't that everybody's idea of roughing it?
That's everybody.
Yeah.
I thought that was universal.
We've all been camping. We all know what it's like. And as the Seahawks are about to go camping. So, I actually worked at a summer camp for a couple of years. So I always talk about Fort Scott. It was 100 degrees all summer, one summer, and I was in charge of the kids. But enough camping experiences. Maybe we should consider getting this show going. Should we, gentlemen?
Before you go, though, Moses, can I have a little second?
Oh, Matt, yes. Go
Make
ahead,
an announcement.
Matt.
Yeah.
Yes,
now, I understand at the moment in the great country of America, it is the season of speeches.
Yeah.
Speaking of needing vodka.
Yeah. But incidentally, everyone, I'm not drink shotting tonight. There's no drinks over here this time, so you can mention Britain and Brexit as much as you like. I'm not drinking. I had a hangover 3 days after the last one, so no, I'm not doing it again.
Well done.
Now, yes, so it's the season of great speeches in your country, and I have been inspired by that great speech given by what was her name? Melanoma Trump. What was that, Melanoma?
That's it, close enough. I think that's
whatever.
it. Yeah.
And I want to start this evening show off with a rousing speech for you guys. So inspired was I by what she said, I decided to write my very own speech entirely in my own words, absolutely no plagiarism, totally original, a one-off.
You wrote your own speech just for us.
I did.
Oh my God.
I did. This is to get us all going, right?
All right.
Okay, so totally, absolutely my own stuff, totally original, totally no plagiarism. My fellow Posse members, 77 months ago our fathers brought forth upon this internet a new podcast, conceived in comedy and dedicated to the proposition that all Seahawk fans are created equal. So pleased that tonight, on July the 22nd, a date which will live in infamy, we once again gathered here to create the best damn Seahawks fan podcast we can create. Because I have a dream. I have a dream that my 4 little fellow Posse members will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the colour of their money, but by the content of their comedy. And so, my fellow Posse members, ask not what your team can do for you. Ask what you can do for your team. I choose to go to the halftime trivia show. I choose to go to the halftime trivia show and win and do the other things, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Because that goal will serve to organise and measure the best of our energies and podcasting skills. Because that challenge is one that I am willing to accept, and one that I'm unwilling to postpone, and one which I intend to win, and the others too. And finally, I really feel this is important to clarify, and I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I love you all.
I believe that part.
God save the Queen. God bless the
Oh
United
my
States
God,
of
that
America.
was beautiful.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
That was great.
Well played,
How can
sir.
you
I know
possibly...
Tupac when I hear it, though. That was definitely Tupac.
How can you not be expired after hearing that amazingly well-written speech?
Totally original. A one-off.
Expired?
Eat your marshmallow.
I was inspired. That was just beautiful, Matt. It was just gorgeous. All right. Enough of that. Matt, thank you for that rousing original speech, by the way. I think we're
Arousing.
probably...
It shouldn't have been arousing.
Well, it was... Okay, well, it was...
Good night, everybody.
Calm down. Calm down.
Well, if you're aroused or not, we are going to actually have a show. But thank you, Matt, for that
Go on, then.
wonderful, exciting, enthusiastic, well-written speech. And just like that well-written speech, this show is well-written and run just like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and even a halftime. Quarter 1 will be news with Will, of course. 60-second rant by Will as well. A 60-second rant by Will. I can say that. Between quarter 1 and 2, which will lead us into quarter 2. We're going to do Seahawk news with a yay or a nay again for this show. And, of course, at halftime, the best Seahawk-themed play-along game on the internet. 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia, as Matt very well said in his speech. Can Will get 5 out of 6? 5 in a row.
It's still.
I doubt
It's
it.
not even pre-season yet. This is just like this is practice
See?
stuff.
Matt already making excuses. Third quarter, we're going to talk about our training camp expectations. And then fourth quarter, we're playing truth or bullcrap. One statement from everybody this time, and we're going to decide whether that statement that the Posse member says is true or bullcrap. But before we start, we'd like to remind you to like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We're on Twitter, Seahawk Positivity. Email is 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. But for now, let's go to the first quarter and news. Yes, here to catch us up on all the news since we were making sure there was enough bug spray in our backpacks. Here's Shadowhawk Will with the news. Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, I know you've had kind of a rough day, but, you know, like the saying goes, I cried because I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet. And
Is your
I'm
story
sure
about
you
somebody with no feet?
well,
That would be
yeah.
awesome.
But I'm sure you had a bad day, but not as bad of a month as Bengals rookie cornerback Corey Tyndall is having. The undrafted free agent was playing poker in a Super 8 motel in Huntington, West Virginia a couple of weeks ago, playing with a friend and 2 other men he knew only by nicknames. This proved to be a rather unfortunate choice because one of the men he knew only by nickname took out a pistol, ordered Tyndall and his friend to lie still and give up their valuables. He lost more than $4,000 in cash and other items, including his cell phone and his rental car keys, and he was hit over the head twice by the barrel of the pistol. Unfortunately for Tyndall, it doesn't end there because he was waived by the Bengals this Wednesday.
Was there any mollywopping going on in that hotel room?
I can imagine so, yes.
So you have a rookie professional football player who's going to make a lot of money. And
Well, he is
goes,
undrafted, so he's not going to make that much.
But still, more than like I'm making, and which doesn't say much. Guy down the street. Okay. Anyway, so you're at a Motel 6 playing poker in a hotel room with people you don't know. What could possibly go wrong?
Seems legit.
We've all been there. Dustin?
Well, following the Johnny Manziel career path, just go out there, make great decisions, and see what happens, you know?
Matt, what's the equivalent of the Motel 6 over in England? Is that like the Motel like 8.5 or something? Or
Probably called an abbey, I'm
It would
guessing.
it would probably be a castle or something. Although
I
I
hope
will say
not.
that, and I don't know whether it's going to be one of your stories about the whole Russell Wilson getting married job. But if I see one more person tell me that he got married at a castle, I'm going to lose my mind because that was not a goddamn castle. All right, it was built about 3 years ago. It's ridiculous.
Maybe
What
they
is
meant
it?
Castle Superstore so they could hurry up and get
And
out all
it's
that
in
pent-up
Liverpool.
aggression.
Who the hell goes from Seattle to Liverpool to get married? I mean, honestly.
Russell
Wow.
Wilson's his own man.
That's right.
Maybe he loves the Beatles.
Well, by the look on his face after he got married, I think something happened. But anyway, back to Tyndall. Poor guy. Tyndall, if you're looking for a job, I'll double pay you what I pay the Posse if you come on our show. So you can double zero for that. Otherwise, good luck. Sounds like you're going to need it. I hope this guy doesn't show up on our waiver wire anytime soon.
I do.
No
Easy
doubt.
money, dude.
Now, that's a bad day, Will. Is your next story another bad day?
Well, kind of. It fits into the "we can't have nice things" department. The Minnesota Vikings' new stadium is set to open this weekend, as a matter of fact. U.S. Bank Stadium. I've seen the pictures. Looks very spiffy.
I agree.
Not so much as people thought it was going to look, however. Wednesday morning, people arrived at the stadium to find a large hole in one of the glass walls outside a ground-level club lounge. It seems that somebody threw a rock through the window, perhaps owing to the fact that the wall of glass next to the club lounge is right next to a sidewalk that has a pile of decorative rocks right next to it. Bad combination.
Yeah, you think?
However, even worse is the fact that it's likely going to take 6 to 8 weeks to receive and install a new pane of glass because, quote, according to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, the glass is custom to the building, according to a source with knowledge of the situation. So their brand new stadium is going to open. It's all fancy. Everyone's patting themselves on the back, and you have a sheet of plywood over one of the panes of glass in the club lounge.
That's classy.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say that hole represents the hole that their playoff chances are going to fall through this year. But I said the hole they're going to fall through. There it
They
is.
need to get some of that glass from Ace Ventura, that double pane soundproof glass.
So I guess we have learned a couple things in news tonight. One is don't play poker in a Motel 6. But another one, I guess, would be don't put decorative rocks next to expensive glass.
People who live in glass stadiums should not throw stones.
Throw stones. Yeah, there it is. So malign, I
Beautiful.
love it.
Beautiful. We've learned so much tonight, and Will, your articles are always fantastic, and thanks again for just a wonderful way to start the show with a great news article. But I do have
You're welcome.
another one I'd like to share. It's time for another news bazaar.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Yes, news that just it seems weird to me. It doesn't have anything to do with football, but I know this whole Pokemon Go thing is going on, and I have not taken care, have not done it. Has anybody on the Posse? Have you guys done the Pokemon Go?
I've seen people walk around downtown Seattle in the middle of the street playing Pokemon Go. Does that count?
Yeah,
Is that a
fess
dance?
up. Fess up. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure everyone knows it's a sensation right now. I refuse to play it, and it sounds like you guys don't either. And there are probably some rules to playing it, and here's one of them. Because apparently, according to Fox2Detroit.com, a Pokemon Go player who was trying to catch them all wound up getting caught by the police. William Wilcox was arrested Thursday morning for an outstanding arrest warrant after police in Milford, Michigan saw him playing Pokemon Go outside their station. He made our job easy today, said the Milford Police Chief Thomas Lindbergh. Officers said the 24-year-old Wilcox was in pajama pants standing near a flagpole when they recognized him thanks to a rap sheet that includes a 2014 conviction on receiving stolen property. Officials checked the records and discovered Wilcox was wanted on a misdemeanor warrant for failure to appear on a breaking and entering charge. He was taken into custody without incident right when he's trying to catch the character at the flagpole. He either forgot he had a warrant out for his arrest or was just ignoring it, thinking nothing would happen. Lindbergh said, I think he was more upset he had to stop playing than it was actually getting arrested. So, you got a guy playing Pokemon Go who has a warrant for his arrest playing right in front of the police station. Thinking, what could possibly go wrong? All three of these, what could possibly go wrong? We find these stories. You have a guy playing Pokemon Go in front of a police station at night after playing poker at a Motel 6 and breaking windows. I don't know. You could have all one story. But anyway, I thought this story was so classic that I think guys, I'm afraid it is once again time on this show to we got to CSI the news. Yes, CSI the news. It's when we take a story and we have a headline and we put our own CSI feel to it, and I play Roger Daltrey screaming at the top of his lungs. All right. What do we got? Will, can you CSI the news?
Yes, Moses, I can.
All right, here's your setup. A Pokemon Go player who was trying to catch them all ended up getting caught by police.
I wonder how many points he was worth.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Matt, do you have a Pokemon Go card? You do?
I almost feel I have to apologize for it before I start, but yeah, I do.
Oh, it must be good.
All right, Matt, here you go. A Pokemon Go player who was trying to catch them all ended up getting caught by police.
And now in jail. He'll get to Pokemon for real.
Oh, dear.
That's kind of like mine.
Oh, is it really?
But no, that's okay. I got a
Sorry.
couple, of course. But Dustin, do you have one?
I'm halfway figuring it out as I'm thinking right now, but go for it.
Well, do you want me? I'll do a couple and then we'll come to you. Do you want me to do a couple while you're figuring it out, or are you good?
You know what? Go ahead. I think I'm going to sit this one out. I'm just learning this game.
All right. A Pokemon Go player who was trying to catch them all ended up getting caught by police.
I said you go ahead.
Oh,
I don't get it.
Okay, I didn't either. All right. I'll do two.
I said I'm learning the game. You go ahead.
The
Best pause
communication.
ever.
We definitely need to go to training camp ourselves. All right.
I'll channeling
Here's
CSI
what I'll
Miami
do.
there.
I'll do two, and then Dustin can do one. All right, here we go. A Pokemon Go player who was trying to catch them all ended up getting caught by the police. I guess he didn't catch any brains at you.
That's one of the thingies.
All right. Minor kind of themed. Here's another one I did. A Pokemon Go player who was trying to catch them all ended up getting caught by the police. I guess his next Pokemon he catches will be Bail Bonzachu.
Nice.
All right, Dustin, are you ready?
No, man, I'm out for this one. I'm out for
All
this
right,
one.
all right. I got two more then, and then we'll finish. A Pokemon
dear.
Go player who was trying to catch them all ended up getting caught by police. I hope he caught a good lawyer at you. See, you just put a chew on anything. All right, and then this is the
Son
one.
of a sneeze.
That sounds bad.
This is well.
That's
Just
bad.
wait. Just wait for this last one as we get ready to end the first quarter, and I take full responsibility for what I'm about to say.
As well you should.
Yes, a Pokemon Go player who was trying to catch them all ended up getting caught by the police. Soon he'll be catching all the Rapichu he wants.
Oh, dear.
Or
I
doesn't.
did it. I said
He
it.
went there.
He better not. I hope he doesn't bring drop of soap at you. That's all I'm saying. That's what it'll sound like right there. All right. Oh my God. Okay. Well, we are in need of training camp ourselves, but that's all right. This is the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
Coming up on this very special camping episode of 12 Man Fan Jam Show, lots of show left. Halftime trivia, truth or bullcrap. We caption a picture. But next, let's talk about some Seahawk news, and I'm going to talk about Lil Mo's brush in Indiana with Blitz right after this.
Well,
And now it's time for a 60-second rant.
you know you make me wanna
Rant.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
I tend to worry about things sometimes. I worry about the fact that our next president will be either Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. I worry that my cat may decide to murder me in my sleep one night. But what's really worrying me these days is the fact that Pete Carroll and John Schneider have not had their contracts extended yet. They were both up at the end of this season. And it just seems to me that this should have been done months ago. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but this is the best head coach, general manager duo in the league. Now, Pete Carroll, he's getting up there. He's probably only going to coach a few more years. But John Schneider's only 46. He could be in the league for the next 20 years if he wants to be. I want him in the league for the next 20 years here. And as long as Pete Carroll's coaching, I want him here too. So, Paul Allen, if you're listening, and I know you are, just get it done this week. Give Carroll $10, $11 million a year, whatever he wants. Give Schneider $5 million a year. That's more than any other GM in the league because he's earned it. Just extend their contracts. Make sure they're both going to be Seahawks in the Seahawks front office for a very long time. And let's keep this run going, guys. Okay?
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
It's the best darn camp there is. I'm the program director, Jerry Aldini. We have some special programs. We're doing Shakespeare in the Round again this year, of course. And the kids wanted animals, so this year each camper will stalk and kill his own bear in our private wildlife preserve. But the real excitement, of course, is going to come at the end of the summer during Sexual Awareness Week. We import 200 hookers from around the world, and each camper, armed with only a thermos of coffee and $2,000 cash, tries to visit as many countries as he can. And the winner, of course, is named King of Sexual Awareness Week and is allowed to rape and pillage neighboring towns until camp ends.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome to the second quarter of episode 406 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. And we're going to yay or nay the Seahawk news in just a second, but before we do, I do want to share an experience that Lil Mo and I had here in Indiana about a week ago. The NFL mascots had a summit here in Indianapolis. I'm not sure exactly what NFL mascots do at a summit, but they did give some out awards, and they got together, and it was almost all of them. And they also played a little Pee Wee football game in a football stadium close to Indy to benefit Special Olympics. And Lil Mo and I heard about it, so we went there, and Lil Mo was a big fan of Blitz, and he said, I'm going to have him sign my jersey. And so we went, and as you see the footage here, Lil Mo was absolutely able to meet Blitz and have Blitz sign his jersey. So, I kind of want to take time to thank Blitz for that, and I also want to thank the NFL and mascots. All the mascots were hysterical. I have footage later I'll probably share, not at this one, but when we play the 49ers, Sourdough Sam, which is a terrible name for a mascot, but the 49ers mascot, Sourdough Sam, very funny, took Lil Mo's hat and act like he sneezed on it and give it back to him. It was really funny. I mean, it was a lot of funny stuff. At one point, the Eagle mascot was sitting next to Blitz, and the Eagle mascot got up to hug somebody, and Blitz looked over and took his chair away. And so when the Eagle came to sit down, he didn't have his chair, and then he grabbed it and he threw it down and gave Blitz a dirty look, and Blitz ignored it. It was a lot of play between them. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, they were able also. Thank you to Blitz and them for all the other mascots. They raised over $5,000 for the Special Olympics, which is outstanding.
Wow,
and
awesome.
Let me tell you something.
Nice.
We went to see this game. We stayed for the game because the autographs were first. And, Lil Mo's like, well, let's stay for the game. So we watched the game, and they're playing, 6th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders. They were playing to win, boys. I want to tell you something. They were out there running over kids, and especially Blitz. I didn't get it on film. I got the aftermath, but I did not get Blitz running down the sideline on a sweep to the right. And he bowled over this little kid at the 10 and went to the 5, and it was like beast mode himself. It was hysterical.
Always compete.
Always compete, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, Blitz went beast mode down the sidelines. It was a lot of fun. So thanks to Blitz and the mascots. It was kind of a unique experience. I hope that wherever you are, if that opportunity comes up, go see it. All the mascots were great. They were a lot of fun. So anyway, enough of that. Let's go and yay or nay the news.
I say the nay.
Yes, yay or nay the Seahawk news. We may have missed over last time we have been on with our show. I give the Posse 1 article in review about the Seahawks, and they tell me where the statement is yay, which means yes, they think that's true, or nay, they think it's not. So, as advertised, we will start with Dustin. Dustin?
Yes, sir.
Since we were last on the air, Doug Baldwin received quite a rather handsome extension Well deserved. I think we all agree. So my statement to you, I guess, is this: Doug Baldwin will respond to his contract extension with a career season in 2016. Yay or nay, Dustin?
I say yay. That guy's only getting better.
Okay, Will, yay or nay on that one?
Well, it depends on what you mean by a career season. I think if you're asking if his stats are going to be better than last year, I would say no. I think they'll be comparable, but not quite as good.
Okay.
If you're asking whether I think he's going to play at the level he did to finish last season all throughout the year, I say yay. I just think there's going to be a lot of weapons out there, so he might not get as good a numbers as he got, but he's still going to be as dangerous as he was.
I would think, when I hear career year, I would think number-wise. So, but I understand what you're saying. I agree with you. There are a lot of weapons out there. Matt, yay or nay on this one?
Yay.
Yay. All right. Everyone kind of going on that one a little bit. Okay. Well, Matt, here's your starter. Deshaun Shedd, who, yes, got married. Congratulations, Deshaun.
Everyone's getting bloody married, yes.
Every Seahawk
got
got married.
Castle?
Oh, my gosh. They all got married.
It was not a castle.
Totally a castle.
You guys have got to help me. Is it Sheed? Is it Shed? I've always said Shed.
I think it's Shed.
Okay, I've always thought it was Shed. Deshaun.
I'm going to go yay on Shed.
All right, we're done. We move to the next one. No. Matt, Deshaun Shedd. He did very well last year when he played. Will he be... Okay, here's my statement. Deshaun Shedd will be the starting cornerback week 1 opposite of Richard Sherman. Yay or nay, Matt?
Ooh. Yay, why not? Yes, he did do well last season. Yay.
Yay. Okay. Dustin? Yay or nay?
Nay. I think that the secondary, everything came together. Well, one, when Kerry Williams left. I'm sure you guys remember what a fan of him I was.
I'm trying to forget.
Two,
he's still bitter about that.
Yeah. When Jeremy Lane came back, everything fell into place. I think Jeremy Lane's going to be the guy that's opposite Rich.
Oh, okay. Will?
Nay. Jeremy Lane is going to start opposite Richard Sherman, and he's going to slide inside on the nickel, and Shedd will take over on the outside.
Okay, I'm going to go yay on this one. I think Lane is our nickel guy, but we'll see. I mean, I said week 1, so just to start him off, they may have him out there. So, but I agree, Jeremy Lane's great. I will also say this: there have only been 2 Seahawks that Lil Mo has really cringed at. One was Robert Turbin, and the other one was Kerry Williams. If I even say that name, well, there's 3. Your buddy Harold Simon, he also loves, but that's another story. But if I say Kerry Williams now, he'll the same thing you guys did. He went, oh. So
take it back.
All right, Will's turn. Will, this just happened like yesterday as we were recording. Michael Bennett has started up again. Here we go. Just pay me or trade me. Blah, 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 blah. So here it comes. Will, Michael Bennett should have his contract restructured. Yay or nay?
Restructured now? Nay. Restructured before the end of the season? Yay.
Oh, okay. So you think they should go on into the season? And okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little early, but I'd like to see late in the year, maybe get something done then. Kind of like how Cliff Averill and KJ Wright were negotiated at the end of the 2014 season.
How many years does Bennett have left on his contract? Do you know, Will?
2, counting this one.
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying. Dustin, Michael Bennett should have his contract restructured. Yay or nay?
I don't know. I'm iffy on this one. I would say nay because I know his wife's going to make him play anyways.
Yeah.
But
get back out there and earn some money.
Yeah, but he deserves it. And they redid Marshawn with 2 years left. They've proven they'll do it if the player is worth it. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the league. So I think I'm leaning towards, yay, do it, get it right, get him extended, keep him here for a while because that dude is a baller.
Yeah, I can see that. Matt, yay or nay on extension or restructure?
I don't. Well, certainly not if he's asking for it. I hate the pressure of being pressured by players to do anything. I just think that after you've signed, you're signed. So, I'll say I'm very much in the same state of mind as Will on this. So I'll say nay for now, but probably before the end of the season.
The wild card here is if they do this before the start of the season. and I guess I should have put a timeline on this. Should have his contract restructured before the start of the season is what I should have put on this one. But if they do it before the start of the season, what kind of message are they giving Cam? That's an interesting question. Yeah, so I think I'm with you guys, although does he deserve it? Yes.
I think you can make a case that with what Bennett's getting paid and the way he's playing, that you can make an exception in his case and still go back to some of the other players and say, you got the best deal at your position when you signed it. Bennett didn't.
But not only that, honestly, I think it says go ahead.
Honestly, though, I think the team has, they came down hard on Cam Chancellor last year, which is why I think Bennett's showing up for camp no matter what. And I'm okay with either. If they decide they have to hold the line and wait till next year, that's fine. However, you better give him something he likes next year, or he's definitely holding out in 2017.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Dustin?
Well, I think that the difference between Cam last year and Bennett last year, I think speaks volumes, and I think that would be something that would send a positive message like, hey, if you make the point, we understand that you want more money, but you show up and you do your job, we will reward you. And like I said, they've shown in the past, Marshawn Lynch, that with 2 years left, they're willing to do some things to make your contract better. And Marshawn was a running back, and he was older, so they weren't going to really extend him to just kind of finagle the contract a little bit. With Bennett, they have the opportunity to extend the contract, keep him a Seahawk for longer, thank him for what he's done, and thank him for showing up last year when Cam didn't. I think that would just further reinforce the point that they'll reward guys for showing up, and they won't reward the guys that don't.
Yeah, I was dead set last year against giving Cam $1 more than he already had because he held out. If Bennett comes to camp this year and they start talking and end up with a deal, yeah, you got to make the point that this is an exception and it's not going to happen for everybody. But I'm fine either way. If they decide to get him a deal, I'm cool.
I'm not as anti against it because of the way he's been playing. I mean, guy's just been playing lights out. He is amazing, and he just seems to be getting better and better. Speaking of getting better and better, Matt, last one. Russell Wilson was married in a castle.
Not a castle,
England.
it was a house.
All right. It was a very large house that goes by the name of Pickerton Castle. But anyway.
Yes.
So here's the thing that everyone's worried about. I know that I've spent many a sleepless night about this, Matt. So here's my yay or nay for you. Russell Wilson's marriage will be a distraction for him this coming season. Yay or nay, Matt?
Nay. I don't think he doesn't let things like that become a distraction for. I mean, the bloke didn't get laid for a year or whatever it was and was fine, so I don't see this as being a big problem. I think, but the bigger problem is that he may have nightmares of the fact he went to a bloody house in Lowestoft in Liverpool, which is the arson. I mean, why you would go from the Emerald City to the city of chimneys and car pollution is quite beyond me. To get married and in a house that was built in 18 whenever it was. There's not a castle. We have 700 castles in England. 700. My house is older than that building, and they're calling it a castle. I mean, it's like, honest to goodness.
You should renegotiate your rent if your house is that old.
But
yeah, my bedroom is older than his bloody castle. I mean, it's just
well, listen, buddy. In this country, a man's home is his castle. All right,
yeah.
A man's home is his castle.
It reminds me of there's just a little story about castles. It's quite funny. In Seattle, they do the tour where you go around and you hear about how it burnt down and all that sort of stuff. And they were sitting there saying that it was rebuilt or whatever it was in 1890 something, or kept going about this is the oldest building in Seattle. It's 18 whatever it is. It's the Pioneer Square building, whatever it was. And it was like, I was sitting there going, yeah, but my house was like 1840, so my house is like 50 years older than your whole city.
That's funny.
And she didn't talk to me for the rest of the tour.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, weird. You think a guy like Russell Wilson could afford to get married to like Winterfell if you're going to go to a castle, something cool like that?
Well, the Queen was in Scotland. He could have had Windsor. The Queen was up in Scotland. He could have had Windsor. It was easy. Honest to goodness. He should have phoned me. I'd rung Liz. He phoned me up and I rung Liz up. I said, Liz, look, we've got a man coming over. He's going to get married to a woman. He has not been laid for 2 years or whatever it is now. So would you mind if he got married in the castle? No, not at all. Philip and I will be in Scotland. Off they go. He can have a little doodah. Lovely job. All you have to do is ask me.
You didn't realize that Matt has this much pull over there, but he does.
He does. He has pull everywhere.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
everywhere.
He pulls everywhere.
Everywhere.
He pulls everywhere. Well, speaking of Russell Wilson, he did host the 2016 Nickelodeon Sports Awards this past week, and just like last year, that makes him the subject of this year's edition of Caption That Picture. I should have said this episode, but I don't care. This episode's edition of Caption That Picture, where we take a picture, we give our own headlines or captions to it, and the picture is before you now. It is a picture of Russell Wilson dressed like Grandmama, and over to the left you have Gronk, and over to the right you have Sierra, and I watched the show because my son, of course, had to see it, and they were doing it. You can imagine this. Gronk and Sierra were doing a dance-off, so if that tells you anything. And then Russell came in dressed as Grandmama. But anyway, Russell looks a little serious in this one, so I thought this would be good. So, Dustin, caption that picture.
TMZ acquired this footage of a behind-the-scenes pic of Russell Wilson's off-season audition for Tyler Perry's new movie, Mrs. Doubtfire 2, Medea is Out of Ideas.
That was beautiful.
Beautifully done.
Well done, well done. Matt, capture that picture.
Russell Wilson in an old lady's dress in a Zimmer frame. Still a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick.
Oh! You went there.
I went there.
Will, caption that picture.
Well, I can't actually. Dustin stole my Mrs. Doubtfire 2 line. And he improved upon it, so I got nothing.
Sorry.
All right. Well, I'll make up for it.
good.
I got 3. Here we go. Caption that picture. While Gronk looks on, Russell Wilson lets kids across the country know that a boy's best friend is always mother.
I was waiting for the sound effect.
Little psycho for you. All right, little psycho for you. Number 2, caption that picture. This is Gronk. We're in Gronk's head. There's a lot of room in there. Gronk's head. Dang it! Gronk says, dang it, I almost asked for her phone number backstage. Still, he is looking mighty fine in that outfit.
Wow. I feel like there should be an echo in there, too, after every thought.
I just love the inside. We should do that more often. We tell the whole
Gronk.
Yeah, it should be this. Dang it, almost asked for a phone number. Still, look nice.
We've got to come up with a sketch like in Gronk's head. This is our new sketch, in Gronk's head.
Hello.
Me,
This is how it works, in Gronk's head.
football.
Oh, God. And finally, caption that picture. Sierra beams with pride as Russell Wilson confesses his cross-dressing obsession to millions of children across the nation.
He's so brave.
She looks like, he's so brave. All right. Poor Russell. At least it's better than last year,
just
so
know
I don't
that-
want to go
you just know
into.
that- Oh, Caitlyn Jenner's in the background somewhere doing his makeup for him. It's just shocking.
We have fun on this show. We do. And one thing that we have just started a new thing, and it is with Mike Pascale, who is the writer of Game Buzz Comics. And Mike will give me a trivia question during the week for the Posse, just kind of get him ready for halftime trivia. So now it's time for Mike to stump the Posse. And Mike, who every week takes great delight in stumping the Posse, will take another crack at it in this week of the Game Buzz Cut. There's your theme song. You like that?
Good.
That's
I
pretty
like
good,
it.
yeah. That's pretty good. So anyway, this week in the Game Buzz Cut, oh crap, hold on. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I said it. Oh jeez, it goes on forever, I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, this week, the Game Buzz Cut, Stop it! Turn it off! Okay, here's his question. His question is this.
All right.
Whew. Just who was the Seahawks' first 40-40 man? And what he means by that is player to have 40 yards rushing and a rushing and receiving play of 40 yards in the same game. So a rush of 40 yards or longer, a receiving play of 40 yards or longer with the same guy. So, that's your question. I can give you one clue.
Holy crap. Okay.
Holy crap is not the clue. The clue is it happened against Denver. That's all I can tell you. So, does anyone have a guess? Will, do you you got one last time? You want to take a stab at this one?
Kurt Warner?
It says Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner, I'm sorry. That is incorrect. Answer. Matt, do you have an answer?
I don't. Stump me. B beats me.
Stumped you. All right. Just don't say that phrase again, because then the music. Dustin? You got an answer?
Percy Harvin?
No. Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan Dornick.
Oh, nice.
Dr. Dan,
wow.
1992 against Denver, had a 40-yard rush and a 40-yard receiving play. Amazing.
Dan Dornick was still playing in 92?
Yeah, amazing but true. And an amazing question. Well, I bet he had the wrong year there. But anyway, that's what he told me, 92. I think he's wrong in the year. But
maybe 82.
It might probably 82, I'm thinking. But anyway.
Hold on, Game Buzz Mike.
Oh, no! You said it! You said it! Why? Oh my God, make it stop! Okay, remember to find all of Mike's creative genius at either MikePascale.com or GameBuzzComic.com. Thank you again, Mike.
Totally different website.
Yeah, completely different. Don't go there.
Just a bit.
Don't Google that.
Thanks again, Mike, for a great Game Buzz cut. No! Oh my God, make it end! All right, coming up. It's halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Yes, so much more show. What position does the Posse think is the biggest battle heading into camp? What Seahawk players are on the training camp bubble? Why is Matt laughing? You stole my
Because he
favorite
heard me
stash of
start.
homemade chocolate chip cookies. Matt, why are you giggling? All these answers and Matt's laughter coming up. But first, it's another edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia coming up next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
My dad and I, we'd go camping, and we'd sit around the campfire, and he'd tell me those great old camping rhymes. I still remember them to this day. It's like, red sky at night, sailor's delight. Wind from the south is rain in the mouth. If the birds are upside down, you're drunk and on the ground.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another wonderful edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
Of the world!
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Will, Dustin, and Matt. And here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Lil Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. All right.
Wait, there's rules?
There are rules. There are rules.
None of us follow.
That none of you follow. There is one slight change for this episode. There are 4 questions and 3 Posse members. So the last question will be, everyone will get the chance to answer that one for each round. 4 questions a round, point for each. Remember, you can ask the kids, of course. And we will start the bidding on the first round. The first round is Summer Lovin'. Summer Lovin'.
It happened so fast.
Dustin's world.
Over at gaybugs.com.
Oh! You went there. All right. Hey, Will, question 1 through 4, which one do you want?
Okay, and for the record, I checked. There is no gaybugs.com. Now give me a second to delete my search history, and I'll take question number 1.
And finish his subscription.
Woo! Thank God. Thanks for checking for us, Will. Okay, Dustin.
Taking one for the team.
2 or 3, yeah. Dustin?
Lucky number 3.
All right, that leaves Matt with number 2.
Always left with the shit.
Always left with number 2. All right.
Oh, dear.
During the show, there's a lot of shit to get through. Come on, let's get on with it.
This is the longest show ever. Here we go. All right, Will. Question 1,
sir.
Will. John Ryan got married this summer. The punter did. Where did John Ryan get married? Did he get married in Florida, Mexico, or Washington, D.C.? And there's some Oregon for you!
Let's see. I know it was in a castle somewhere. Can I hear the questions one more time? I'm sorry.
Sure. Where did John Ryan get married this summer? Did he get married in Florida, in Mexico, or in Washington, D.C.?
I'm going to go to the lifeline early and ask the kids.
Oh, okay. You asked the kids. Mosette said he got married in Mexico, and Lil Mo said he got married in Washington, D.C.
I'm going to go with Mexico.
Going with Mexico. All right, going with Mexico. Mosette went with Mexico. You're with her. You got it! Married in Mexico.
Thanks, Mosette.
Just before they build the wall.
Sounds like a Toby Keith song.
And Will's on the board. Matt, your question is number 2.
Yes.
John Ryan's wife is a comedian. She's actually very funny. Yeah, well, everyone's a comedian or Canadian, eh? John Ryan's wife, she was a regular panelist. I'm having the hardest time saying John Ryan. John Ryan's wife was a regular panelist on what TV show? Was it At Midnight, The Daily Show, or Chelsea Lately? Which show did John Ryan's wife regularly appear as a panelist on? At Midnight, Daily Show, or Chelsea Lately?
I'll go with Chelsea Lately because it's the only one that seems to ring a bell in my head.
What's her name?
Sarah Colonna.
Sarah.
Thank you. Lil Mo said Chelsea Lately, and Mosette said At Midnight. Said Chelsea Lately. You got it!
Yes. Oh, nice.
Will's on the board. Matt's on the board. Means Dustin. No pressure. All right.
Yeah, I don't
Dustin,
win anyway, so it's fine.
You know, Russell was married in the Peckford Inn Castle in England.
Goodness.
So it tells itself. In the Second World War, what was the Peckford Inn Castle used as?
Your mom's house?
Was it used... Was it used as an asylum? Was it used as a hospital for handicapped children? Or was it used as a homeless shelter for those who lost their homes in bombings? What did the Peckford Inn Castle serve as in the Second World War?
Ask the kids, they'll know.
Well, I don't know. I'm medical, so I kind of want to say that it was for the medical reason, but that seems too specific. It seems like there'd be a big need for people to hang out after the houses got bombed. So I'm going to say...
Hey, our house got bombed. Let's go to Peckford Inn.
Let's get married there.
Yeah. I'm going to say that it housed those who were unfortunate enough to have their houses bombed. That's my guess.
You got a homeless shelter for those lost in bombings?
Yes.
You've been fooled. You don't like it.
Oh, no.
Guess what, Dustin?
Hmm.
It was a hospital for handicapped children.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, very specific. Okay, here's the last one, and we'll go Dustin, Matt, and Will on the answers. It's about Earl Thomas's wedding in April, and I think right before we did our show, he got married. And so your question, I said Dustin, Matt, and Will.
Okay.
Dustin, Earl Thomas tied the knot to his wife in April. Not to his wife, with his wife. He didn't tie a knot in his wife. He tied a knot with
he may have. I mean, whatever.
Where did Earl Thomas get married? Is it Houston, Texas, Orange, Texas, or San Antonio, Texas?
Can I just say Texas?
No, you cannot. Houston, Orange, or San Antonio?
I don't know, man. Houston. I have no idea.
Houston, I have no idea. Matt?
I didn't hear. I have to say, you broke up a little bit in between, so I couldn't hear the places. So I wasn't really 100% sure what you were saying.
Okay. Was he married in Houston, Texas, Orange, Texas, or San Antonio, Texas?
I think you said the middle one was Orange, Texas. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I'll do that middle one then.
Will?
They don't even grow citrus fruit there. What kind of town is that? That's BS.
Well, Dustin, I don't know, but as we saw in the convention this week, this is the week for orange, so I'm going to go with that one.
All right.
All right. Yeah. He's talking about Comic-Con, I assume.
Dustin said Houston. Matt and Will said Orange. No one said San Antonio. Mosette said Houston also. Little Mo said San Antonio. He was married in Houston.
Yes.
So Dustin gets a point.
Nice
that
job,
puts everybody
Dustin.
on the board.
I
Nice
think
job,
San
Dustin.
Antonio would be a bad precedence because that'd be like at the Alamo, and that was his last stand.
Yeah. Well, in Orange, Texas, if you don't know, is where Earl Thomas was born and raised. Orange, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
that's why I
there was
guessed that
actually
when
a
I
connection
thought-
there. Yeah, yeah.
I thought that he was going back to his hometown. But I was wrong.
Dustin, Oh, go ahead.
No, there was nothing funny or important, so go for it.
Dustin, 5, 6, or 7?
I'll go Tavares Jackson.
So that's number 12. No, I'm kidding.
7.
Yeah, I know. Will, 5 or 6?
5.
Matt was 6. Will, it's all tied up here. All right, here we go. Will, in the movie Meatballs, what was the name of the camp Bill Murray worked for? Camp North Star, Camp North Lake, Camp Moonbeam. Bill Murray worked at a camp. Meatballs. Great movie. We heard from Bill between first and second quarter, by the way. Camp North
And
Star,
FYI,
Camp North
Corey
Lake, or
Feldman.
Camp Moonbeam.
Corey Feldman was Meatballs 4. Just random trivia.
Lord. Don't even. Meatball. Anything after Meatballs 1 is not worth talking. Camp North Star, Camp North Lake, Camp Moonbeam.
I'm going to go with Moonbeam.
So Camp Moonbeam. So did Mosette. Little Mo with North Lake. It's North Star. Everybody got it wrong. Camp North
You know
Star.
what? I think you asked me this exact same question last year, and I think I got it wrong then.
Yes, I think I did, and I think you did.
Really?
I should say.
I need to watch that damn movie.
You got to watch Meatballs. How can you not see Meatballs? All right, Matt. The NFL Network did their top 100 players of 2015. I'm sorry. 2015. How many players did the Seahawks place in the top 100? 5, 6, or 7?
I'll go 7.
He's going to go 7. Wow, you're not going to mess around. Little Mo went 5. Mosette went 6. You went 7. It's 6.
Oh.
Baldwin, Thomas, Bennett, Chancellor, Sherman, Wilson. In that order, from bottom to top. All right. Only
Harold Simon didn't make it?
No.
Oh, weird. That's so
Simon.
weird. I think one of the prerequisites to making that list is you have to play.
That's so
weird,
ableist
dude.
of you,
It's
Dustin.
discriminatory. They're going to change that in the future. Just watch.
Dustin's
Rules out the
hot.
Patriots. Rules out Tom Brady, then, doesn't it?
Ooh. Hey,
snap.
Le'Veon Bell, too. Yeah, I went there. Dustin, you can take the lead. No, you can't. You can tie Will.
Bum, bum, bum.
Both can have the lead. Here you go. You ready?
I only have 1 point. He can take the lead.
Oh, that's right, because you missed the. That's right. It's
Yeah.
everybody's at 1 point.
Yeah, he missed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So everybody's
yeah,
at 1,
so
Dustin.
in your face. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Dustin. All right, Dustin.
Relax, Will, it's Dustin.
All right, Dustin. Earlier this summer, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson trained with what NFL wide receiver? Was it Antonio Brown, T.Y. Hilton, or Julio Jones? Julio Jones.
To be honest with you, I've been working 2 jobs. I have not followed any NFL news, so I actually have no idea.
One. This is a softball.
Actually, I have no clue. To be honest with you, who are the options again?
Antonio Brown, T.Y. Hilton, or Julio Jones?
We have Atlanta Falcons connections. I'm going to go Julio.
He's going to go Julio. Him and Julio down by the schoolyard. Mosette went with Julio. Lil Mo went with Antonio Brown. Should have gone with Lil Mo. Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Russell Wilson and Antonio Brown on the same team? That'd be pretty special. All right. Well, here we go to our last one. And you all did well in the first round. You all did terrible this round, so we'll go the same order. Dustin, Matt, and Will, here's your final question. Earlier this summer, who recorded promos for the upcoming Sunday Night Football? Now, we know Russell Wilson was there, but there were a couple other players. Which one of the following players, there are 3 players, only one of them actually was part of recording the promos for the upcoming Sunday Night Football? Was it Jimmy Graham, Richard Sherman, or Earl Thomas? Dustin.
Man, it's got to be Sherm. He's the biggest personality of the bunch.
Matt?
I don't want to say the same thing as him, though. Earl Thomas.
Will?
I got to go Sherman.
Okay. Mosette went Sherman. Lil Mo went Jimmy Graham. Matt went Earl Thomas.
Is Jimmy cleared to do commercials yet? I don't know.
Good question. Well, the question and answer is Earl Thomas.
Oh, wow.
Goes up by 1. I know. I thought that was weird too, but it's true. Also, Cam Chancellor. So those guys all did them. Here we are in final question time. Matt with 2, Will with 1, Dustin with 1. The final question is worth 2 points. And you do get a prize at the start of the third quarter, chosen especially for you, which I will talk about later.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Your final question, as always, is a number, highest to lowest. High-low number, if you're all over, the one closest to it gets it. The one closest without going over is the winner. If that's the case, we're going to start with Will.
Hey, honestly, it should be me, though. He's the champ, so he should get the chance to work off of what I do.
I'll go with that. Dustin,
yeah.
Will, and Matt. All right, here we go. Your question is this. Okay. Dustin, Doug Baldwin signed a contract extension this summer. How many touchdown passes has Doug Baldwin scored for the Seahawks career-wise? How many touchdown passes for Angry Doug?
Oof.
Like more than me.
Well, yes.
I think you're right there.
Well, 2 had 4 years? I will go. I don't know, 15.
15. Will, how many touchdown passes for Angry Doug?
I will go 34.
I guess really it's touchdown catches. He doesn't throw the ball. How many touchdown catches? Matt, how many touchdowns did Doug catch during his career so far in Seattle as a Seahawk?
20.
You say 20?
Yeah.
So we have Dustin with 15. We have Matt with 20. We have Will with 34. All right. The actual amount of touchdowns that Doug Baldwin has 29. That means he's back, baby. God save the Queen. Matt once again returns to his winning form. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you very much.
He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. It's preseason. It doesn't even count.
It's just
really.
preseason. Just stretching my third stringer out.
It doesn't
you should
mean
do
anything,
that
right?
not during the show, dude. That's kind of weird.
Or if you do it during the show, just don't tell us about it.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Get back in the winning way there, Matt.
Thank you.
This has been another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia. We'll be right back in the second half after this quick station identification, man.
You're listening to the 12-man Fan Jam Show on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
I'm surprised we can still get people at camp. Hey, want to burn a couple of vacation days sleeping on the ground outside? No. What if I told you to get the crap standing up in the woods? I still wouldn't want to go. You'll wake up freezing, covered in a rash. All right, I'll go. My wife always brings up, camping's a tradition in my family. Hey, it was a tradition in everyone's family till we came up with a house. My parents never took me camping. You know why? Because they loved me.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Yes, welcome to the third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam Show. I did that just for... Hey, you! Yes, you putting shaving cream in your camp counselor's sleeping bag. Like or comment the video. Join us on Facebook, 12-man Fan Jam Show, Facebook page. Email us, 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Tweet us. Make this part of your Seahawk fix. No assembly required. Of course, if you've been listening, and I don't know why you would pick up the show in the third quarter for some reason, but halftime trivia was won by our own Matt. Matt, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And let's tell him what he won. Well, Matt, you, as the winner, you get a prize chosen especially for you. You get gum chewed by Pete Carroll during the 2014 NFC Championship. That's right. A piece of gum that Pete chewed on. Congratulations. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Scary thing is you could probably get money for that on eBay.
You probably could.
Probably could.
Yeah.
I don't know what the authenticity would look like. Like DNA
probably
testing.
Should.
Yeah. I want to get DNA testing on it to prove. But anyway. Wasn't it the one guy like the NSYNC or some boy band half chewed like grilled cheese sandwich got like $5,000?
Probably.
Yeah,
The
he
world
was
has
at a
gone
hotel.
mad.
He was at a hotel and ate like half of his lunch, and they took his half-eaten grilled cheese and sold it for like $5,000. Anyway, all right. Enough of that. This is our camping episode. Dustin, you ever take the kids camping?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Great experience, was it?
I have a different perspective on that type of thing. I was in the military for a long time,
Oh,
so camping for me is a tactical movement. So the kids don't enjoy it as much, so we don't do it often.
Kids get up at 4 in the morning, digging ditches. Come on!
Yeah, exactly. Setting up tents in the dark, and yeah.
Oh my God!
You go into your whole Full Metal Jacket routine on them.
Yeah, I didn't know they stack shit that high. Yeah.
I've got one of those platoon images, or no, what the Predator images when he sort of rises up out of the swamp, all covered in mud with like camo paint on and stuff.
Come up out of the mud with my Nerf arrow gun or whatever.
Yeah, really.
Yep, that's Dustin.
Yep.
Well, I never do because, as Jim Gaffigan pointed out, now that we have homes, we don't have to go camping. But anyway, but speaking of camping, our Seahawks are going to training camp this next week. That's why we're doing this show right before the training camp. And when that comes up, of course, you've got 1 million players that come into camp. You've got all the free agents. You've got all the free agent undrafted players. You got drafted players. It's a huge quandary of players, a cornucopia, if you would, of Seahawk players trying to make this team of 53. So Matt, what position do you think is going to be the most interesting to watch at camp to see what happens as far as competition? Because, it's all about competing.
Yeah, of course it's all about competing. That's what the Seahawks have done forever. And they obviously, for me, I want to know about running backs. That's what I want to know about. That's the competition for me is running backs. So it's the largest gap, I suppose, it's been created from Marshawn retiring. So it's the area that I think is going to have the most competition. be in there. That and the receivers, I suppose, but I don't want to pick all the positions. But no, I'm going to go with running backs. For me, I want to see how they play. I want to see whether we can maintain our dominant run game, because
it's interesting because we've got all those guys
that's
we
what
drafted.
we based it on.
Yeah, we got those guys drafting, and then we got Rawls coming back, and we've got Christian Michael who looked like he was born again coming back. That's quite a stable of running backs there, and they can't keep everyone they have.
But it's so important for our team about the establishment of the run. Our entire team is based upon the run. And with that, if that goes, or if that isn't as strong as it has been previously, do we have the weapons to be able to step up and sort of, become a throwing team all of a sudden? Or, tight ends? I don't know. I think for me, running backs is the area that I'm looking forward to watching.
All right. Will, what about you? What position do you think is up for grabs or very interesting?
I want to say the cornerback position. The top 3 spots are pretty much set with Sherman, Lane, and Shed. But after that, there's just a huge logjam of players.
Yes.
Burley, Thorold Simon, Ty
Assuming he's
Hill,
healthy, yeah.
Stanley Jean-Baptiste. So many good players. We're gonna be cutting some good cornerbacks this year, and I'm interested to see who steps up and who can win a roster spot there.
Did you say Stanley Jean-Baptiste? Oh.
No.
Nope.
Let's hope he makes the team so I can work
That's
on
not what
my
he said.
outrageous front shot.
Let's not.
Oh. Dustin, what position are you looking at?
To me, honestly, there's only one position group you can look at, and it's got to be offensive line.
Sure.
That was our biggest issue last year. And they brought in a mix of veterans and rookies this year to try and work that and find a remedy for it. So we got to see how these guys produce, see how they perform, and keep our fingers crossed that the moves that they made in the offseason are moves that are going to solve that problem. Because we can't keep having to wait 8-9 weeks before they are able to protect the quarterback and allow him to do his thing. We need to start early, and we need to build consistency from the get-go. So,
very interesting. I agree with you guys. Running back, quarterback, and offensive line are all very important positions. I'm kind of interested to see how tight ends happen to shake out, because getting a guy like Varnett, who is just supposedly this really, really, really good tight end, they're probably not going to cut him. And when Graham comes back, you're going to have Graham, Varnett, and then you're going to have probably Wilson. And when one thing that Carroll has not been able to do yet, that I don't know if he's even interested in doing anymore, but when he came from USC, his offense was a lot of 3 tight end offenses where they would flank 2 tight ends and have one on the end of the line, or they have 2 tight ends and one flanked out, and they just like to play with the 3 tight ends. He likes to have those tight ends out there.
They're like Matt.
Yeah, but he likes to take 3 tight ends out there, and we really haven't seen that in here because we haven't been that deep at tight ends where he can do that. But this year could be the year that we start seeing, Varnett and Graham and Wilson out there, maybe as many as 60-70% of the snaps, and maybe a couple of those guys are flanking out. Maybe they're staying close to the line. I'm just interested to see if that actually comes to fruition now because we have all these good tight ends. But
I like the adversity or the all-around play that Varnett is advertised to bring as far as blocking, catching, receiving.
Agreed.
Where I have worries is Jimmy Graham. That's not an ACL injury. It's not an ankle injury. It's not a broken bone. It is a torn patellar tendon. And that is something that is very, very hard to come back. It's not an injury that happens often. And when you have an injury that doesn't happen often, that means doctors don't have a lot of practice with that injury. Patellar tendon is kind of almost to ACL injury. ACL in the early 90s was hard to come back from because people didn't have practice fixing it. They didn't know what to do. They didn't have techniques in place to make it work. And patellar tendon is kind of that new injury. So I'm not holding my breath for Jimmy Graham. He might not be back by the beginning of the season because of the type of injury he had, which sucks because the dude has talent and he would be a huge asset to the offense. So I'm really, really worried about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. And Rawls is a little different situation. His was more of a bone situation, wasn't it?
Exactly. He
So
broke the
his
bone.
is healed and he's good to go.
Yeah, he was at the Richard Sherman softball game.
Yeah.
Charity softball game a couple weeks ago. Said, "Yep, I will be there 100% for sure, ready to roll day
Wonderful.
1 at training camp." So
that's good news. So, so Dustin, let's go with you. What player do you think needs to have a strong training camp to stay on this team? Who's in danger of losing their job?
I think it's going to be Chris Michael.
Ah, good choice.
He's taking my man.
Yeah, hey. That'll be the first time that's ever said.
Yeah. Not really.
Oh.
But
fair.
Woo!
But
That's my man.
That
That's
dude.
my
I mean,
man.
they got Collins. They got Pro-Size. They got Rollins. I mean, I think I really
Zach
really
Brooks.
like the fact that when Marshawn Lynch left, they really rejuvenated that position with a lot of young players. And I think that they had a specific idea in mind with those young players. They have the third down guy, which they haven't had since Leon Washington.
Yeah.
They have in Pro-Size. They have the guy that runs like Marshawn and Collins. And they have Rollins, who was a stud last year. I think they have specific roles for each of those guys that they drafted. And I think that Michael might be the odd guy out if he doesn't figure out how to, running back properly. So we'll see how that goes.
I can see.
Can I just add to that, because that was the one that I was going to talk about.
Yes, go ahead.
I think that the issue is that if he continues on the if he continues in that sort of frame of mind that he did when he came back the second time towards the end of the season and was just I'll hold on to the ball for love or money and just powered through. I think if he carries on in that frame, it's going to be really interesting at running back of who they're not going to keep all of them, I'm sure, but whether or not he'll make the team. If he has that one awkward fumble, if he has that one Christian Michael experience moment, then
He's the new Brad Walters.
He is absolutely really bad. He is, but I think it's important that he's had his shot though, because he really did step up for us towards the end of the season. So I think it's important that he's had his shot, but I do think that he's got one drop only, and then he's.
I don't know. See, I kind of I felt different about him a little bit. And hello.
Yes. Hello.
I'm sorry, it got really, really quiet. All right, so I felt a little bit different about him because if you watched him play, go back and look at when he's running the ball. He is so mentally wrecked about fumbling.
Oh, I know. Both
that
hands.
He doesn't. That he is more focused on covering up the ball and not fumbling than he is making a play. Yeah. So when he's out there running, if there's anybody in his vicinity, he's covering up the ball and trying to make sure he doesn't drop it, as opposed to juking him or stiff arming him. But
that's going to take away from his abilities a little bit and make him a little bit more vanilla, so to speak.
Exactly.
I agree with you. Hey, Will, who are you looking at? Might be looking for a job at the end of this training camp?
I think it's going to be one of two players, either our 6th-round pick, Joey Hunt, or the starting center for the last half of last season, Patrick Lewis. I think 2 men are going to enter and 1 man is going to leave. And I think the reason why only one of these guys is going to be on the final roster is because both of them can only play center. Pete Carroll and
good point.
Tom Cable like guys who can play multiple positions on the offensive line, which has the obvious benefit. You don't have to have as many offensive linemen active on game day. So if you have players that can only play one position, I don't think this team wants to carry 2 players who can only play center. I think
great point.
Now, Hunt was the dude that was the pass rushing specialist, right? He was undersized, super smart, and is able to pass block, right?
Well, he's done both, but yeah, he's undersized, and if you look at his picture, the guy has no neck. I mean, it's just the shoulder pads and then the helmet. So I think he's been hit on the top of the head a few times. But.
I think he was a dude I heard had a huge football IQ, and was able to adapt to compensate for his size. So that dude is a wild card, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably is. I'm going to go with Matt's favorite, Harold Simon. I think we have had our fill of Mr. Simon to the point where it's time, like you said, with that long jam at defensive back, they don't need to keep him around. and he could very well, it's a make or break. He is either going to get some playing time, or he's either going to get some playing time, or he is going to be out the way I'm looking at it. So those are some players to look at to keep their jobs. Coming up next, let's go ahead and end the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
And coming up, you think you know the Posse. You think the Posse knows the Posse. We will see what they know in a game of truth or bullcrap. Coming right up. Remember, you're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We're your golden ticket to Seahawk fun. And remember, if you want a transcript of the show, get out a pen and paper and write down everything we say. We're going to feedback and be right back after this.
Hello, everybody. This is Statsman Mark. When I'm not watching reruns of The Love Boat, I'm listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show.
Exciting and new.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Ah, yes, it's time for the fourth and final quarter of this episode of 12-Man Fan Jam Show. And before we start in, we want to tell you, if you have listened this far, thank you. And also, if you're wondering when the next shows are going to be, August 5th, that weekend, we're going to record one. And then right before the exhibition season, which starts for the Seahawks on the 13th of August, we'll talk about training camp. We'll talk about what going into preseason exhibition games, what to expect. And then September 9th, we'll wrap up the preseason. We'll wrap up the exhibition preseason games, and we'll go right into the Dolphins. So that's what our show's looking like. And now we're going to finish this show with a little addition of truth or bullcrap. All right, here's how this works. Each of us makes up one statement. We don't make up a statement. We have a statement. True. Could be false. We don't know. Statement about ourselves and our past, hopefully loosely Seahawk related, but that's up to the Posse member. The most bizarre, the most exciting it's going to be. And then the panel each gets to ask that Posse member one question about his statement, and then we vote on whether his statement is true or bullcrap about his past life experiences. So, we will start with Will. Will, what is your statement for truth or bullcrap?
Well, Moses, I used to go down to the stadium on Tuesday afternoons to get autographs from Seahawk players. This was back when you could actually get an autograph without having to line up at 8 in the morning to do it. But anyway, I went down there one day a few years ago, and I forget who the player was who was supposed to sign, but he had to cancel. And in his place was a young player that none of us had really been that familiar with, called Doug Baldwin. So I got Doug's autograph, which was great, except the whole time he kept calling me young man, which was a little weird.
Hey, young man. So Doug Baldwin called you young man, and you got his autograph. That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
All right. Question, Matt?
Question me.
Do you have a question?
Was it raining that day?
It was October, so yeah, I'd say it's a pretty safe bet. It was raining.
Ooh, it was October. Who was supposed to show up that didn't?
I honestly don't remember. I do recall he wasn't around much longer after that, so I lucked out.
Dustin,
I still have a Jamie Sharper autograph from 2005.
Oh, Jamie Sharper. Wasn't that just the best thing? Oh my God, Jamie Sharper's coming to the Seahawks. We were so excited about Jamie Sharper.
He lasted 8 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Dustin, do you have a question?
Yeah, what was Doug wearing?
He was wearing a polo shirt, Seahawks polo shirt.
All right, vote.
I presume he was wearing pants, but he was sitting down, so I couldn't tell for sure.
I'm going to go ahead and say truth on that one. Matt?
Bull crap.
Bull crap. Dustin?
I'm going to go crap because I've seen Doug a few times, and he's never that I saw wore a Seahawks polo for an appearance.
Will? Is that truth or bull crap?
Mostly true, however, it was Marshawn Lynch.
No!
Ah!
2 of you got it. So,
bam.
Yeah. You fooled one of us. You
No,
get a point.
Dustin asked a good question because I've never actually gotten Doug Baldwin's autograph, so I have no idea what he wears.
Lil Mo actually did air in Indy. It was the first guy that signed his thing was Doug. Yeah.
My kids have met him a couple times, and I actually ran into him at the pro shop one time, which is pretty cool. He's
that'd be cool.
Really, really nice dude. Awesome dude.
Very nice. Hey, Matt, what's your truth or bull crap?
Yes. Right, picture it. It's October the 18th, 2012. I was in San Francisco with Ian Smudge, and we were attending the Hawks 49ers game, which we lost 13-6. But we had no way of getting to the stadium because I'm British and I refuse to use the public transport. So we hailed a taxi cab, but because of the fact that we held the same cab as a couple of people, or 3 people next to us, we ended up sharing the cab because it was getting a little bit tense. And it turns out that it was me and Ian ended up sharing a cab to Candlestick Park with 2 girls and a Russian military bloke who spoke no English, was drinking Jack Daniels straight from the bottle, and insisted on calling me Max for the entire journey.
Okay, my question, was the Russian in uniform?
No, he wasn't. He was in a t-shirt and jeans.
No.
He wouldn't be in uniform.
I know.
No.
I just thought it was a funny question. Dustin, what do you got?
Well, I think that I don't even have a question to ask. I think that Matt said the choice of alcohol to throw us off. He was probably drinking vodka, and I'm going to say it's true.
Oh,
Huh?
Will?
Great to questions.
Were they 49er fans or Seahawk fans?
They were not any football fans. They weren't going to a football match. They were going up towards the prospects, just out towards Candlestick.
Okay.
Okay, Will, what do you think?
I'm going to say true because if it's not, it should be.
I'm going to say bullcrap. What do you got, Matt?
It is, I'm very sad to say, true.
Oh!
I knew it.
Absolutely
Ding,
true.
ding, ding,
And
ding,
the-
ding, 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 ding.
I love
scariest-
this game. We need to do
The
this at
scariest thing
halftime.
about this, is that Ian insisted on talking to that bloke in his own pidgin Russian that he's got because of his military. And,
Oh dear.
See that?
Right.
And I swear to you, he looked at me, Ian, and he said, "I've either told him that I was in the British Army, or I've told him I'm going to kick his ass because I'm in the army." And he wasn't sure which one he had told him. And I'm
Well,
like,
Ian was a big dude. He could probably handle either or.
this Russian bloke was younger than Ian and bigger than Ian.
Oh, my God.
Oh dear.
He was
How do you all
huge.
get in one cab? My God.
Oh, don't. It was never again. Next time I'll take
Matt
the
was
bus.
like, follow up with your name is James Bond.
And he called me Max for the whole fucking trip.
Wow.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
Did he know
Tell
your
me
real
this,
name
what-
and just felt like calling you Max?
Yeah,
or...
exactly. Because I kept saying, because he said, because he didn't speak. When I say he spoke no English, he spoke like your name, like Matt, Max. No, it's not. It's Matt. Max.
Matt.
No.
Yeah.
Max. No, Matt.
Nope.
Max.
Okay, so be real about the alcohol. What was he drinking?
Jack Daniels.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
true story. Yeah.
Dang.
Jackie D's.
So my whole premise for answering it the way I did was wrong, but it worked in the end. It's good.
It did.
Yeah, because you suppose you meant to say false for vodka, there, did you?
I'm sorry, what?
What did you mean? Were you going to say it was bullcrap? Were you?
Yeah,
What?
no. I said it was true, and you were throwing us off by saying he was drinking whiskey.
It was JD.
I thought you were trying to pull a ruse.
But yeah, you still said it was true.
Mhm.
My statement is this. I once walked out on an unpaid bar tab in Seattle. I once walked out on an unpaid bar tab in Seattle. Matt, you got a question?
So an unpaid bar tab, did you say?
Unpaid bar tab, yeah.
What were the drinks on that tab?
I used to buy a round for everybody, and it was like said, give me a blue drink of some kind, and I bought a rather large amount of that, and I always used to do a toast, and then I'd walk out of the bar, it's like my big thing, and then I would go walk around, and walked right out without paying the bar tab. Dustin?
What was the name of the blue drink?
I'll be honest with you, I can't remember. I said, give us something blue, and he said, I've got something. I said, okay, we'll take, I think, 10 of those or something. Will?
Was this pre or post game?
Pre-game. At King Street.
So he was sober.
Oh, very much, yes. I was extremely sober. All right, Matt, what do you think?
Bull crap.
Matt says
You,
bull
you,
crap.
you don't think? I just don't think you do it. I just think Moses is just too. He's just too. Honest.
Honest. Dustin.
Well, here's the thing, Matt. He didn't say that he didn't come back in the establishment and pay it after he figured out he walked out.
Ooh. This is when you watch too much CSI.
I feel like that would be a Dennis thing to do. However, I also know that he's kind of in with the Seahawks crowd, and he would know that there are specific drinks that we drink that are blue Seahawks colors, and I'm going to call bull crap.
Okay. Will?
I call bull crap just because I know the pregame King Street crowd, and we would have chased you down and got our money.
All right. That's actually true. That actually happened.
Wow.
Here's the story, and Will knows Tabby Hawk, and if you know Tabby Hawk,
of course,
this is when she was still a waitress, so it was quite a while ago. I did that. I go to King Street. We all hang out. I have breakfast. I paid for my breakfast. I paid for my drink with my breakfast. I got the big thing with everybody. I had my toast. I walked out. I didn't even think about it. Came back. Tabby Hawk's like, I need to talk to you for a minute. She took me back into the room, and she said, she looked around. No one was around. She goes, you walked out on your tab. And I'm like, what? She goes, I know. I knew you were coming back, so I didn't say anything about it, but you walked out on your tab when you left before the game. So I was like really embarrassed, and she was laughing. She's like, that's okay. I knew you were coming back, so I paid her. But yeah, I actually, I didn't intentionally do it. I just walked out on an unpaid bar tab in Seattle, and I didn't, I love King Street. I don't, when I come up this year in October, I can't come anyway because my son's going to be with me, but don't frisk me and, make sure I paid everything before I walked out because it just happened once. So, but that was a long time.
You can hang around outside King Street.
Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. But,
yeah.
But I did wind up, yes, Dustin, I did go. I didn't know it happened. Had no idea. She said, I need to speak to you. She took me back in the back of the room. I'm like, what's she talking about? What's she talking to me about? And, she just turned to me and said, you didn't pay your tab when you left. I'm like, oh, my God. So, unbeknownst to me, I did do that. All right, Dustin.
Yeah.
Truth or bullcrap? What you got?
All right, so I'm not sure if you guys know this. I'm from Tri-Cities, which is in Eastern Washington. Okay. And we have a team there called we have a team there, the Tri-City Dirt Devils, right?
Okay. Russell
Wilson played for that team. He was the second baseman, played for 30-something games.
Okay.
I believe. And that's the precursor to this story. I recently I went to a family reunion where I found out that my aunt and uncle, who host players from the Tri-City Americans and other teams, were actually the host family for Russell Wilson while he was playing for the Tri-City Dirt Devils.
Wow. That's awesome.
Oh.
Will, question.
Well, actually, I have to call bullcrap because it's the Tri-City Dust Devils.
Well, whatever. I don't live there anymore. I can't remember the name of the team.
Well, they just beat the Everett Aqua Sox on Wednesday, so I'm a little bitter about that.
Okay, so I haven't lived there. I haven't been there since.
We'll give him a mulligan on that, Will. You still going to call bullcrap, or you have a question?
No, I'll say it's true.
Okay. Matt, what you got?
Is this baseball?
It is baseball, yes.
No.
And the funny thing, kind of caveat here, me and Matt opened up our conversation today before you guys were on talking about baseball, so this was on my mind.
Oh, okay.
It was on his mind. What year was he there? What period of time were we talking about?
I want to say it was 2010, 2011. I haven't seen these guys since before I joined the Army. My family, we're not a tight-knit family. I don't see these people often. And when I left Tri-Cities in 2001, I don't go back very often. So I
don't blame you.
So, yeah. So, truth be told, the reason I was around those people was because my grandma died. And so we had all these people planning a funeral. My aunt and uncle there, Rusty and his wife, Bev, were telling a story about Russell Wilson at this whole thing we're planning on doing, the funeral things. And I was like, man, I had no idea. But I had known they've been host family forever because they hosted Tri-City Americans like Brian Boucher, who played for the Philadelphia Flyers way back when, he lived at their house when he was playing for the Tri-City Americans, which is a 16 to 20-year-old league. So that's just one of those things they do.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a lot of detail there. Went into a great deal of detail. Got a lot of... I'm going to say there was too much detail. He's trying to put me off. He's trying to... It's bullcrap.
I'm still sticking with true for the effort, if nothing else.
Dustin, anything, any special story they told you about Russell or anything memorable?
They said that he was a guy that okay, so like I said, they've hosted hockey players, they host baseball players, they hosted a few apparently, and they said that they had a couple people, and his friends would come by the house, but Russell was pretty much the guy that would hang out at home, didn't want to go party, didn't want to go do whatever the other guys were doing, and that he would actually watch his film from in college because he brought tapes with him, and they said that the whole time he was playing baseball, he was still looking at football and thinking about trying to go back. So he was constantly trying to look at how he could get better. So it's kind of a very Russell Wilson-esque with his mentality even back then, mature for his age.
Well, I got to tell you, I heard a story about this, about people that housed him. And it was a long time ago. And of course, God knows I can't remember the people showed him, but they talked about Russell Wilson being, housed, and they did say the Americans was the team. I'm going true on this. I think this is legit. Dustin, what is it?
That is complete BS.
Ah!
Nice.
Damn. I remember hearing a story though where he lived with some people. He was a host family, living with a host family and playing baseball. And
I read the same story. I read the same story.
So you just, okay.
And my aunt and uncle are divorced. They haven't been together for like 20 years.
Your grandmother's probably still alive, too, isn't she?
Oh, my God.
No, she actually died. That part did happen.
I think the winner tonight is definitely Dustin.
Yep.
And so, Dustin, we have for you a designer rock from the Minnesota's new stadium.
Hey, autograph.
And do whatever you want with it. It's a broken glass. Enjoy yourself with that. Don't hurt yourself.
Thank you.
And this has been Truth or Bullcrap. And gosh, guys, it looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a close. God, what a show. What a great camping show. We're ready to see the Seahawks go camping now. And we are so glad that you decided to waste some time with us. We hope you laughed a little and maybe you learned a little something. We learned so much tonight. We learned that you shouldn't play poker in a Motel 6 with people you don't know. You shouldn't put rocks in front of expensive windows. You shouldn't play Pokemon Go in front of a police station if you have a warrant for your arrest. We learned that Matt loves Liverpool. We learned that a man's home is his castle.
Real castle, not a fake one.
We also learned that if you camp with Dustin, it's like being in Full Metal Jacket. And finally...
Oh, yeah, you're gonna do some patrols.
And we learned that Dustin took Matt's man. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our douche sound Shadowhawk Will, Dustin as the Beaver, Roger Goodell, Moset, Lil Mo, Statsman Mark, wherever he may be, Sheila McRae, Art Carney, Mike Pascale. Good night, everybody, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Oh, Dustin, you should never take Matt's man. That's so sad.
Ever.
Good show, guys.
Forever? Yeah, that was fun.
I
tell you what, I'm impressed that Will got me on the